Danny Bell's in the referee's box up top.
Okay, Paul Brady serving. We got the linesman over there and over there. Good luck, 0, serve 0.
We're live on the internet at replayhandball.com. It's the first serve of the second semifinals match of the day for the men's Open Pro Singles. Emmett comes out really looking like he's aggressive here, going for the kill shots. Every single shot that he makes like that will just build his confidence even more.
0, serve 0.
Paul had the first serve. Emmett quickly got him out. Now it's short. 0, serve 0. That's a short call, and it's the correct call.
You have 1 serve coming. Side out.
Looks like Emmett's holding onto his shoulder right there.
0, serve 0. Replay. Check the ball. 0, 0.
Score is 0, serve 0. Early part of the first game. Paul Brady just lost his footing. Something to keep in mind in the first game that we had that Paul Brady played, he actually twisted his ankle, and he has it heavily
0,
taped.
serve 0.
Took off his shoe yesterday and showed it to me, and he actually has a huge bruise forming on that, and it's below his ankle on a spot where he says that he does it all the time. It's a little problem that he has. He twists his ankle quite frequently, and once you start doing that, it seems to be very reoccurring.
1, 0.
He was playing Miles Payne, and Miles inadvertently just barely touched with his left foot Paul Brady's right foot, and it just flipped it right over. And Paul says, I don't blame Miles Payne at all. In fact, we just barely touched. But I've got this problem with my foot where I do this quite often, and it heals fairly fast. Beautiful shot from Emmett PEIXOTO, who's going to have a lot of friends and family in the gallery watching him play.
2, serve 0.
His mom, his dad, his sister, his cousins, his second cousin, twice removed, his nieces and nephews, friends, all out there in the gallery.
0, serves 2.
There's the spot where Paul Brady twisted his ankle, touching Miles Payne in a match that happened a couple days back.
Point.
Paul also has a little tendonitis in his left patella tendon. He's been wearing a brace, but he doesn't have it on now, so it must be feeling good.
1, serves 2.
The score is 1, serves 2. That's a nice little return from Emmett. Emmett says, I can definitely play with Paul Brady, but my mind just won't let me get over the hump when it comes to beating him. I go into the match feeling like I'm actually going to lose, and that's what eventually happens.
1, serves 2.
Score is 1, serves 2. Bottom bracket men's semifinal match. In the broadcast booth with me, we have the greatest handball player of all time,
Side out.
Nadi Alvarado Sr. Nadi, you see this match right here. This is one of the winners of this match is going to be against your son in the finals for $20,000. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. You get to see your son play in the finals again?
The doctor, actually, we needed one when Nadi was playing. Not for Nadi, but I needed a doctor myself. I almost had a heart attack in there, but you know that it was one of the best matches I've seen Nadi play, and obviously you saw Tony make the comeback from 15 to 5 or something like that, and he's came back and won 21-20. What a fighter!
Oh, it's awesome.
Fighter.
Yeah,
but,
you know, what was really great about that was the fact that the camera panned back and looked at the crowd when Tony came back in that second game, and you can see the angst on everybody's faces. We looked over at Carrie Alvarado, Nadi's wife, and she just had this terrible look on her face when Tony came back and eventually won that second game. And your daughter, Lupita, who had that just awful look on her face at the end of that game. And then all of a sudden, when Nadi was up 5-0, we look back and everybody's smiling again, pumping their fists.
Oh, man, we are great winners. we are real bad losers in my family. And you can see their smiles. And, you know, when we get together, everybody just has a good time and we're all laughing. And obviously, when something bad happens, obviously, everybody's, you know, we pull together. So we kind of feel, we're feeling Natty's feelings on how he was with a big lead and then losing it in the second game especially. But nothing to take away from Tony. Tony was just great. He started to kill the ball. He made several aces to the left, and he started to kill the ball. But the question that you asked me here, sorry to go around and then 5 minutes later give you the answer. And this particular, who I want to win, or, you know, it was so long that you asked me that question, I don't even know what
I don't remember what the question was, but, you know, it's nice to see you try to go full circle and back to the original question.
Yes.
But you know what was great about that Tony Healy match is we watched this awesome game here with Paul Brady and Emmett Peixoto, the other semifinals match, was the fact that Tony Healy was getting some of the very best gets that I've ever seen in a match. I mean, not just 1 or 2, but he got at least 10 great gets back, and most of those, at least 8 of those 10, he won every one of those rallies.
Oh, yes. You know what, a player like that, what it makes you do is, after you made an excellent shot, and then he picks it up and does something else with the ball, then as an opponent, then somebody's they're thinking, okay, now I gotta make a better shot than that now. So on Tony's behalf, he's putting a lot of pressure on the other players, and what is going to happen, they're going to change their shot, do something else, because his gets were terrific, and he was just, you know, after a kill, he was having re-kills. So it was a great match to watch.
Yeah, you're right, and it's one of those kind of catch-22s for your son who, here, let's look at this replay here. Naughty just slaps that ball down the wall, just pushes it past Paul Brady. But it's kind of this weird catch-22 there, because Naughty was actually making the correct shots every single time that Tony was out of position and diving. And it almost forces Naughty to say, wait a second, I'm going to actually have to hit that 2 inches lower?
Yes.
And so then if you do modify your shot, it takes you out of your own game. You just stick with it like Naughty did. He kind of kept that cool head, didn't let it get to you. Sometimes it seems like you're not going to buy yourself a point against the guy that's getting all those balls back.
Especially with Tony. So it was crucial between second and third game. I knew that he was disappointed by having a big lead and then losing it. So my first comment to him is, okay, now when you go back in the court, you know, start thinking about your serve. So it was nothing negative, nothing for him to thinking that, okay, well, I just lost a big lead and lost the game on top of that.
Right.
So my first thought for Natty was, okay, when I get back in there, I'm going to have to serve, so think about what you're going to do right away, you know, instead of thinking other negative aspects of the game.
We're in the second semifinals match of the day. In fact, there's only 2 as we make our way to the finals. It's 6-6. Emmett was down 2-6 at one point. Now he's playing really aggressive. Both of the players seem like they have the same type of emotion out there, both hitting the ball really hard and doing what they do best.
Yes, both of them are, the style of they have is shoot, you know, serve and shoot, and obviously for camera and people watching, this is a great match to see.
This is your tournament. You've held this this tournament for about 17 years.
Yes, I was in one of the interviews. I was commenting that usually somebody passes away and then they have a tournament on their name, after them, and I'm just so blessed to have my family. They're the ones that started it, and after that, with my good friends, going from Mr. Bruce Fabricio to Mark Shulgren to who are really responsible for having this tournament, and obviously my family. 17 years doing this particular tournament is a great deal for us. So we're very happy to have it, and obviously by having a Simple Green sponsoring the tournament and having $75,000 in prizes, what a great thing to do. And what it does is has everybody training and playing their best. It's the money, yes, but it's also the honor of winning this particular tournament and having my tournament in conjunction with this U.S. Open. It's just what a great deal, and everybody wins in this particular occasion.
Oh yeah, and after Bruce makes that 3-year commitment to try to improve upon this year, and it seems like it'd be hard to do, but you never know, and that gives you confidence knowing that next year we're going to build upon this and try to bring it up to the level where how many players do you want to have ultimately? I mean, have you looked at like maybe 2 or 3 years from now, we're going to try to get 400 or 500 or 1,000? Is that what we're trying to do?
We're thinking that next year we're going to be close to 300 players. So we're going to have to extend the tournament to 4-day or possibly 5-day. We're also going to close the entries, meaning the players, 1 month prior to the event. And that will give us enough time for us to prepare, for the sponsors to do all their advertising, for the players to be ready, and for the organizers of the tournament that we have all the courts in place.
That's
and
the point.
So that's our goal next year, to improve it. Obviously, we're going to have more players, so there's going to be more and possibly more money out there. I'm putting the pressure there on Mr. Bruce Fabrizio.
Got a word that Seymour Reinstein, who's has the affliction of cancer cell, is recovering from cancer cell, is watching, and this is making his day, helping him get through his recovery, and he's motivated. He's saying.
That is so beautiful. He's a great, wonderful human being, and obviously we wish you the best. And I'm glad that you're listening to us, and hopefully you're understanding what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys are or not, but I'll just say it again. I'll say it twice if you want me to.
Say it again. No, I think we can understand you. Seymour is watching us on the World Wide Web. He has cancer. He's recovering, and he actually said this broadcast, listening to Nadi Alvarado Sr. is making his day and watching these matches. You know, and also watching a great match like what we saw earlier. It isn't necessarily something you want to see for your son when it comes to extending that game to a third game, because he wants to keep under check, so to speak, when it comes to his body. He doesn't want to go extend himself to a tiebreaker every single round because he has to play in the finals now. But certainly for the cameras, that was one heck of a show. Before we talk to you more about your son, let's go to the sideline reporter. Her name is Kara, and let's see what's going on, Kara.
That's right, Dave. I'm right here on the sidelines. I'm joined by Emma's sister, Courtney, who you made it into the finals today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you taking some notes here, some pieces of advice from your brother, or are you basically here to cheer him on?
I'm just here to cheer.
Okay, you see him playing Paul right now. What's some advice that you would have for him being a player yourself?
I don't really have any advice, just get pumped.
One of the best women players, and you don't have any advice for your brother. Do you ever get out there and play with him?
Not really, no.
Well, Paul, I know he has yet to beat Paul, so this would be a great win for him today.
Yeah, definitely.
Best of luck to him. Let's get back to the game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kara. Yeah, you're right. It is very hard to give advice when playing Paul Brady. He has every single one of the tools. Out of the players that you played in the past, Nadi, when you look at Paul Brady's game and how motivated and pumped up he is now, the rejuvenated Paul Brady, do you see some weaknesses in his game that you've been able to talk to your son about, or have you been able to study him lately, or enough?
You know, actually, we haven't talked about Paul's game at all, and it's probably not a good idea for me not to be watching Paul, which right now I am. Obviously, we're gonna talk about what particular plays we can do against him. He's in great shape. You gotta move him, obviously, like anybody else. So weaknesses, I don't see too many on him, and obviously that is the reason he is the #1 player in the world, and obviously he earned that title. He is by far one of the best conditioned athletes in our game right now. So he deserves a lot of respect from us. So we just take that in consideration and try to do the best that Nadi can. Obviously, nothing happens if Nadi doesn't execute his shots. And like today, to me, he played real good. So weaknesses, I don't see too many, but they're there.
It's from time to time we like to do this in professional sports. We like to look at a player that's current today and see how they match up, or who they used to remind you of or look like from a player from the past. By looking at Paul Brady, does he remind you of anybody that you played when you were on the pro tour?
I really can't think of anybody. He's got a pretty unique style, from the underhand to the side arm shots, and at this point, it's very hard for me to tell you who, but I mean, it's just he's got his own particular style. obviously I played against one of the greatest
Two
players
serves coming. The
ever
score is
living, Fred
14-6.
Lewis, who I thought gave me the most, harder time than anybody else. Obviously, towards the end, when I was
Point.
on my later years, then I was playing John Bike, who was my son-in-law now, and
15
John
serve six.
Kendler, who also had a lot of hard time with them. But it doesn't mean anything taken away from like the players like Lou Russo and Staffy Singer, that when I played them, I
Point.
was just learning the game, so it was very hard for me playing against them.
Paul's appealing his own get. I thought he got it.
I've never seen this before.
Both agree. That's a point.
The call was a point. Danny Bell called it a point, and Paul appealed his own point. I've never seen that call before.
Well, when you have 15 points and your opponent has 6, you can do that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've just never really seen that.
Serve six.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure if it double bounced, and he just had to
Yeah.
appeal and say, hey, I'm not sure if I double bounced that, and I want to appeal it. Yeah.
I mean, that's true. Sometimes you don't know. You get caught in between, and you want to make sure that you're not
Side
cheating
out.
your opponent, and that's what he just did.
See, now Emmett's saying the same thing to him. But, it's interesting that that this is such a great sport that we do that, I mean, even as competitive as we are, we're still gentlemen and gentle women in the court,
Yeah.
and still try to make it fair for everybody. And I think the reason why we do that is
Six,
because
serve 16.
we go through the trials and tribulations as players. We know what it's like to dive into a wall or to hop a ball into somebody, or when somebody gets hurt or hit in the face or in the eye guards, we actually feel for them because we know what it feels like
Yes,
ourselves.
like any other
Seven,
sport,
serve
this one is
16.
so special to us, and
Good.
like you said, we all feel the same. And being the sport so hard that when you don't have any
Second serve.
equipment to help you to hit the ball, when you have one of your opponents and you don't want to, beat them
Side
on
out.
a bad call, so what Brady just did, it shows you that the talent that he has and the confidence in his game also
16, serve
by
7.
doing so, and the honesty of his game. So that was a great thing
Point.
for Paul Brady to do.
Yeah.
And
Have you
his-
seen that before, actually appealing your own shot?
I don't remember. I just remember appealing everybody's shots
17,
before.
serve 7.
So probably if I had a big lead like that, I probably would appeal something
Point.
like that. But that's what he did. That's a great gesture on
18,
Brady's side.
serve 7.
You
Is
got
this-
18-7 there, so it's a nice little cushion, for Brady, and you can do that.
Emmett's played Paul Brady a couple times this year. One time in Modesto,
Point.
one time in Dallas, and then he played him again at the Worlds. And he said he
19,
knows he
serve
can beat
7.
him. He knows he matches up okay with him, but he just has to mentally think he can beat him while he's in the court, not just off the court.
Well, off the court is a lot easier, isn't it?
Oh, it sure
Point.
is.
Even you and I can beat these guys too, in
Two on-
doubles.
yeah, you and I,
Yeah,
yeah.
doubles, yeah.
Long as I play the left side, you and I got it made.
20, possible game point, serve 7.
Well, we got 20 points here. There's
20
one more.
yeah.
And he's not really hammering the ball yet, but still making some nice pass shots and wraparounds and set
Side
up
out.
one for Emmett. We'll go for a kill shot off the fly.
Your son would like for this game to go to a
7,
tiebreak,
serve
or at
20.
least go deeper into double digits and try to get Paul to, kind of exert himself just a little bit.
Yeah, well, Emmett is,
Why?
like you're saying, he's a much better player than this right now, and he's starting a little
Paul, you high
slow,
guard.
but I think
Paul,
that he can give him
high guard.
a good game still. If not this game, the game is not going to be that easy
8,
for
serve
Paul.
20.
So I think that Emmett has got still some life left in him.
Paul Brady's so focused right now that when he was in the server's box, he took his eye guards and put them up
Point.
over his face and wiped off his face. Forgot his eye guards were still up there. And Danny Bell, being a smart ref, looks down and says, eye guards, Paul. And Paul,
9 serve
wow, I
10.
didn't even know I had him off.
Yeah, isn't this amazing, the concentration of all these players?
Side out.
The money, like I said before, is a big deal, but it's also the prestige of playing in
20
an
serve
event like
9.
this. So money is wonderful, but the title, you cannot spend. So I know that all the players that were training before. I know my son was training, and John was
Side out.
training more than before. even more than the nationals. So this is a great event to have and get the best players out here, you know, to compete for this prize money.
When this game ends, and if and when this game ends, we are going to talk a little bit about Bruce Fabrizio and Simple Green and what impact they have in the handball world and what they've done for this event and how we can build upon it. And so we'll get into that subject in just a few. Just remind me, make sure I don't get off the subject here talking about eye guards and other silly appeals.
You know, for the person watching this particular game out there, it's so important to have the eye guards, because if you hit one of your opponents in the eye, obviously they have the potential of losing their eyesight. So it's very important, all these little things that we talk about.
Well, we saw that yesterday, or 2 days ago, when Ricky McCann took a ball off the back wall and hit Luis Marino in the eye, which looked like it could have potentially been a very, very dangerous thing.
Yeah, that's what I was you know, trying to tell you on that aspect. As you can see people right now in the background, these are a lot of sponsors to the tournament. A lot of them pay for these seats, and that helps us to promote the game and to obtain the shirts that Mr. Bruce Fabrizio provided to us. Talking about our sponsor, title sponsor, Mr. Bruce Fabrizio, owner of Simple Green, and which they brought their whole team, not only for this tournament, but they have done it in the past for me. The big thing that now that he's doing is giving out this much money, and if you know that what he's doing before this event, having his team together to have this particular tournament is just it's a lot of work, but it's he's a great handball player. He's a great ambassador to the game, and with his money, we couldn't do these things.
Right, you know, this is one of the years that he actually took his whole team and put it together to really make a blowout event. We're going to talk more about Simple Green in just a few. It's continued coverage of the world of pro handballs. Simple Green U.S. Open of handball. It's a big money tournament. Let's go to sideline reporter Tara, who is, well, she's doing what she does best. She has Margie PEIXOTO on hand.
That's right. I'm joined by Emmett's mother, and seeing that game, what do you think Emmett needs to do and concentrate on right now?
Well, I think he needs to slow up the game a little bit and take some of that power away from Paul Brady and wrap it around a little bit more and get him out of the front court as much as possible.
Paul Brady, if not the best in the world, arguably one of the best, and seeing your son reach this level where he's playing up against him, what does this mean to the family and to him?
Well, Emmett works very hard. He's been working in his game since he's 12 and a half, and he trains really hard. He's just getting to the level of the elite, and I believe that he will be the world's best.
And really doing well these past few years, making a breakthrough and becoming a great player. What is it in Emmett that's made him so good?
Oh, he's very tenacious. He wants it. He loves handball. He loves the competition, and he loves the people around the sport. So it's just a lot of fun to him. It just inspires him.
This U.S. Open is a family affair with your daughter now reaching the finals. It's been a busy weekend for you.
Oh, it's been so much fun. I haven't been to a tournament for a while. I've had some health issues, and so this is the first time they've played together in the same event for a long time. So it's just really fun to be able to watch them.
Comparing the two players, are they the same, level-headed on the floor, same type of player?
They both have their own personalities. They both love the sport, and they're a lot of fun. They have a light sense of humor, so they don't take things really, really seriously. They don't get mad on the court, and so they're a lot of fun to watch.
Give me some PEIXOTO history.
PEIXOTO history?
PEIXOTO. See, okay, I have the maiden name Uffelman, so I can relate here. I'm like, oh, PEIXOTO. I'm sorry, PEIXOTO. PEIXOTO history of handball and the family. How did it come about that you just had the love for it?
Well, Dad had some handball gloves hanging over in the closet, and I asked him. I said, one lunchtime, because he kept coming home for lunch, and after a while I thought, well, you know, you're getting a little heavy. Maybe, what are those gloves hanging there? Why don't you go back and play? So he started playing again, and the kids started watching. They were only 5 and 6. They started going to some tournaments with Dad and that, and then just one time Emmett, when he was around 12 and a half, decided he wanted to play, and then about a year later,
1
Courtney
minute.
decided to play, and she got into a tournament, and they just got the fever and just really wanted to play better and better, and they just went to the college level and won the collegiates, and they just worked their way up, all the way through the juniors, college, and now into the elite. So it's just been a really lot of fun to watch them aspire to their dreams.
Watch them. Do you ever play yourself?
Yes, I did play. I started playing when I was 50, and then I just had hip surgery, and I'm not playing anymore. I promised Emmett that I wouldn't play anymore, but I had a lot of fun. I actually coached a college team and won the collegiate doubles.
I can tell that you've played because she has some great things to say about Emmett here on the sidelines and giving some good advice on the sidelines. The game is gonna start back up. We're gonna toss it back to you as we see the rest of this game.
That's Kara Mack on the sideline commentator, the world of pro handball. I want to thank her for stepping in, talking to Margie PEIXOTO. That's Emmett's mother. You were going to say something. If you had a chance to ask Margie a question, were you going to ask it, Nadi?
Oh, no, I was just trying to see if I had something to say for her. But what she has talked about family in handball is a very, very big issue. Our sport is taught by our fathers, and then we pass it on to our children. So that was a perfect example of a family that plays handball. And as you can see, Margie is so passionate, just like a mother should be. And you know, like my wife and our kids, we just have a great time and going to tournaments and watching everybody. For example, my wife is the one that probably watches more matches than anybody in the family. And
yeah, you know, you've got the Alvarados that play, you've got the Bikes that play, the PEIXOTOs that play, the Roberts that play. You've got these big, strong families over in my area. You've got guys like Ali Abdullah, Ali Abdullah Sr., and then they're related to Anton Wilson. And I mean, we're talking about multiple females in the family. Brady and Yvonne August are related to that family as well. And then it's just like, next thing you know, you've got 40 or 50 handball players and multiple females that are playing, and everyone's related to everybody, and they're marrying into families, and it's such a strong thing. But to get back to your original point, yeah, it usually comes home and it's dad that teaches the son or another family member how to play, and then it just trickles on down from there.
Yeah. And you know, in my case, my father was a handball player, and then I started to play handball because of that reason. With Nadi and my two daughters, they're also handball players.
0-0.
With Nadi, because I didn't want to worry about in the later years of like now, I never, you know, pushed him into playing handball. That was a decision that he made, you know, and by watching us play and us being together, I did not discourage him from playing, especially now that there's more money in the game. You know, if it wasn't for people like Mr. Bruce Fabricio stepping up and giving these players the opportunity to make a little bit of money when you're playing your favorite sport, is even a more wonderful thing to do.
You're right. You're talking about Bruce Fabrizio from Simple Green. It's been now more of a lifelong friendship between the two of you that kind of started late, but it's going to go on for the rest of your guys' lives, being really close friends. He's been there for you, and you've been there for him as well. And he told me personally that if he would have played handball earlier or met you earlier, he would have probably still been in the NFL. Not meaning as a player, but associated with the National Football League. And that he feels that handball, out of all the different sports that he was really good at, was the one that really truly can show a good athlete the lateral movement, the athleticism, the eye-hand coordination, and all the little tools that you need in order to succeed as an athlete and as a person. He feels that it also does a real spiritual thing to the mind. And he feels that he tributes all this to you because you guys have talked and strategized about handball many times over the past.
Yeah, we have wonderful conversations with him. He's a very interesting person. He does so many good things to not only to our sport, but to the children association. You know, he's a great person to have on your side. You know,
yeah.
Right out.
Type of person that would take the shirt off his back for you.
Yes, and in this particular case, you know, for example, like this tournament, he just doesn't do something halfway. You know, he goes right to the top. He
Point.
doesn't fool around. In this particular case, he doesn't care how much is the price that you gotta pay for something. He just wants to
3-0.
have the best. And the best he's getting right now in this particular tournament.
Well, he certainly has the best staff that he surrounded himself with. The Simple Green plant that's located just up, or I should say down the beach from here. Not too far away, just about 5-10 miles from here is his home office, and he's got a great staff, marketing staff, internet marketing staff, as well as a sales force, and he's brought all of those people out to this event, and it's really kind of strange. I never really would have imagined a huge corporation like his, where the people that do what they normally do with accounting and sales and marketing are actually out here barbecuing and moving boxes around and doing what they do best.
It's a great family event, and he certainly fits the bill on that. You know, he is all for family. There is, it's just, I mean, we can go on and talk about him all day, and we're missing some of the great matches and some great gets from our two players like Brady and Emmett. But you know, Mr. Fabricio is just so much to us. It means so much because of his contributions and his love to the game. That's why he sends his very best people here, and we just feed
Even though he
off
started
that.
fine, I'm calling it avoidable. Give him a little bit more room. It was a fat back wall setup, Emmett. Sorry.
Here's the replay on that avoidable hinder call. Let's look
Score
to
is
see what happened.
5-0.
Took a big ball off the back wall, and he hit it.
Point.
And that was an avoidable hinder call.
Emmett
But he's
Pichot,
saying that he
that's his
walked
first.
into the
score is
vision
6-0, 1 minute.
of Brady's, and therefore he called the avoidable on him. And what this can do is get Emmett a little bit, to start playing harder and try to do some other things with the ball other than trying to block the view of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. The ball did come right down the middle. It's just one of those strange calls to see. You don't get to witness that too often, but it was called, and I didn't see Paul lobbying for it. It looked like it was just a straight call coming from Paul Brady there.
Yeah.
Let's go really quickly over to Kara Mack, who's right next to, I believe, Jim Pichot. Kara?
That's right. I'm making the family rounds with the Pichot family. You're watching your son here play. What do you think of his play right now? What does he need to do?
Well, he really needs to slow the game down a little bit and get the ball in the deep court. He's having a hard time with that because Paul's hitting the ball so hard, and he's using different angles that I've seen Paul before. Throw Emmett off a little bit. So really needs to get the ball down back. So.
What are some of Emmett's greatest strengths in the handball game?
Well, he'll get him just about any ball that's got a chance of staying up on the floor. He'll get it. He'll get it back to the front wall. He's a great digger, and he's got great mobility. You'll see that he just can get every ball that's out there. So he never gives up. Got great where he is right there.
You do a good job of commentating and watching at the same time. I'll let you get back to the game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kara. We tried to get Jim Pichot on the microphone earlier today, but to no avail. He wanted to sit in the stands and watch his daughter, Courtney Pichot, play that semifinal match that she eventually won.
Let me just say something about what Jim just talked about. He's talking about Emmett getting Paul Brady to the back. To the back of the court. That's what he's meaning. So if you see that broken line right there, if whoever controls that area pretty much scores most of the points, like you see right now, you have Brady. Now he's actually doing what he told him he was going to do, to put him in the back court. So that's one way to get the opponents to the back. So you do either like a V pass where you hit the front wall and it hits the side wall. If you hit the ball from the right side, so that's considered like a V pass. Also, the ceiling shot is very effective to get your opponent out of the front court, and that's what Jim is right. That's what Emmett has to do, and the score reflects that what Jim just said.
Well, it sounds really easy in a way, and then when you get in the court and you hit one of these Z shots that gets Paul into the back court, he's so quick that he hits his shot and gets right back to the middle on that on the dotted line. So he's always constantly saying, well, I'm going to control the dotted line. Even if you put me in the back court, I'm running right back to the middle. You see Paul's always on the dotted line. He hits this shot, and then look at this. Immediately, he's right back at the dotted line again. It only gives you a split second to try to make up your mind to get him out of that dotted line. I guess what you have to do is just keep Paul in the back court and let him run up to the dotted line and back to the back court again, up to the dotted line. It's like a dog. It's like a dog on a leash, and you have a tennis ball, and you just want to keep throwing the ball out there until he gets tired.
So the best way for, I would say, is give some ceiling shots to Paul and keep him more in the backcourt and then waiting for the opportunity to go for your kill shot or so. There's some great gets here by the two of them. And that's a nice shot there again. And another pass. And he has kill shot opportunities, but he passes, which is a great strategy.
Look at this right here. Emmett's playing a game that you normally see doubles players play. The crowd going wild there for Emmett.
That was a great rally. That was one of the best rallies of the tournament.
Yeah, the score is 9-0, but that was one heck of a rally there. That looked like a right side doubles player just trying to get balls back. And I don't think Emmett really wants to get into that shooting game with Paul Brady. You're absolutely right. Yeah. We need to hit some more ceiling shots, maybe slow the game down and take Paul out of that element.
That's what Jim was talking, and obviously when you're in the court, you cannot see the things that we can, and by saying that they should do this, they should do that, it's very hard because your opponent is actually forcing you to do certain things with the ball. But if you have a chance, yes, you have to go up to the ceiling. As you can see there, Emmett was on the run all the time and not really being able to properly hit the ball due to the shots that Brady was doing.
Well, yeah, you take away Emmett's offensive shot, and it was defense on every single one. And the guy that's defending like that usually loses. But you know, earlier when Tony Healy was playing tall break, your son Naughty, I couldn't say that was true. Look at that, almost got it.
No, that was some incredible rallies also with Tony and Natty, both of them being so fast. Just like these two guys right here, Brady and PEIXOTO. They're, excellent on their footwork, and they have excellent hands, so they don't have to run all the way and try to hit the ball with one arm only, due to that they have a pretty good left hand and off hand, both of them. So it's a great match to watch. And even the score is reflecting a big lopsided 10-0, but it's not really what is going on in the handball court.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. There's a lot of times that we see a 10-1, or like that score that Naughty had 15-1, and Tony was always felt like it seemed like an equal game, and then all of a sudden Tony ends up winning that one, and Emmett just scored there. But it looks like it's been fairly equal. These guys are matched up quite equally.
Yes.
Even though the score is not
reflecting the play, level of play in the handball court. And you can see now that's what we're talking. We're talking the difference. That is that he's got 2 points now because he's scoring and they're making the right shots right now. See, as you can see right there, he's having in the back court.
Emmett's again in the right position.
That should be called hinder.
Side out.
Or it's a side out. See, that's how much I know about refereeing.
Well, when you win every tournament, it's kind of hard to referee. I agree that Emmett didn't get to see this.
I believe you didn't see it, but it was your own fault. I agree you didn't see it, but you played him.
That's a bad philosophy to take, to say it's your own fault, right? Because you could still be at fault, but still be able to get to a ball.
Yeah, I mean, I would say something. If the ball was low in that particular call, then I would agree with the referee. But the ball is high enough that, and they're fast enough to react to the shot. And the style of Paul Brady, he's obviously you can't see the ball from this angle.
Well, Paul, you're right. Paul hit the ball right back at himself, and they always say that if you hit it back at yourself, you make sure to roll it out, and if you don't roll it out, then screen the guy, and he obviously screened him.
Yes.
Point.
John Bike says that Danny Bell's the best referee of all time, and then he says yesterday Danny made one bad call, and all of a sudden he said, forget it. Danny's not the best referee. James Comstoff now is the best referee.
It's so hard to referee, and especially the way these players move around and the velocity of the ball and the quickness. It's very, very hard for the referee, and not to defend the referees right now is that right now, if you can see the court, they're on the left side and the high part of the court, and it's a very, very tough angle. But it's hard, and so yes, you're going to make some mistakes, and what you're trying to avoid is for them to make a bad call, and that will cost the match to your opponent.
There's a good picture of Danny Bell right there in the referee's
so you can see it's in the top part of the
second serve.
the court, and it's a very, very tough angle that he's looking down on the ball. So for us, it's easier because we got a nice view of the Handball and Simple Green logos and Los Caballeros where we're playing right now.
That's a beautiful. Oh, Emmett wanted that shot. That's kind of all Dave Chapman. Maybe it. Who was the first person you see that used to take that shot? You? I know. I see Nadi, your son, take that shot a lot too.
Nadi made some incredible shots today, and I was very, very happy on the way he played. And if he would have lost today, that would have been a very, very tough loss due to his way that he played today.
Right.
It was, like I said before, I haven't seen him play this good in a long time. So I was very pleased. And obviously, he's been working hard by training and practicing and doing a lot of running. So he's fine, you know. Then obviously Tony probably did the same thing. And he trained like everybody else. But you know, what are you gonna do? You just gotta go out there and play your best, and the winner, you know, usually does play better than the other person. So,
well, it's going to be a great matchup tomorrow, whether or not it's going to be Emmett or
it's your second
or Nadi Jr. But it appears
the score is 15-2, 1 minute.
It appears that it will be Paul Brady playing Nadi Jr., although I hate to say that so early here. But let's go to the sideline really quick. We have Kara Mack from Portland, Oregon as our sideline commentator. Let's step in with her and see what's going on out in the gallery.
I'm out in the gallery with Tony Healy, who just ended a tough game against Nadi Jr. just not too long ago. You're all showered up now, reflecting back on the game. What are you thinking?
Well, I guess in the second game, you know, I just really had to go for it. Like I had lost the first game, and I was really kind of down and out, and just tried to stay positive and get myself back into the game and just try and put him under pressure. And I was able to do that. I got back in and put him under pressure and took it to a tiebreaker, and was looking for my chances in the tiebreaker, but he seemed to take his chances a bit better. He was very solid. He played very solid in the tiebreaker, and he deserved the win. So I was happy to come back, but I was disappointed with the way I started, you know. So just pity I didn't finish it out.
You did. You make a great comeback and really stayed level-headed throughout the whole game. Your father was up here the entire time cheering you on, meeting you during the timeouts. What's the relationship like between you and your father?
Oh, it's great. It's great. He's been, you know, he's like a pane of glass in the back wall here. Every time I look around, no matter where I'm playing, Ireland or here, he's there and he's supporting me all the time. So, you know, since I was 8 years old to today, he's still there supporting me.
You're watching here, fellow Irishman Paul Brady take on the court. Are you two close friends?
Yeah, we are off the court, I guess. You know, we're good friends. All the Irish guys are good friends. All the Irish players. You know, we've got a good kind of camaraderie going together. But still, we're very competitive on the court. You know, me and Paul have been in a lot of finals and a lot of games together, and we're very, very competitive and very, very big rivals as well. So, you know, I suppose we've got a good balance.
Congratulations on a good match today, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you in the future, and we'll get back to the game. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tony, for stepping in there. What a great gentleman he is. He giving the nod to your son, Nadi Alvarado Jr., for the win that he got earlier. Beautiful get by Paul Brady, who gets back up and can't quite catch up to it. You hear the gallery clapping. That was a nice get right there. I don't know if they're necessarily clapping for Emmett, though. I have a feeling they're clapping for that get right there. But you see how great and how nice of a gentleman Tony Healy is. All the Irish guys are all classy handball players.
See, we're talking about the same. It's one big family. Every handball player, regarding where you're from Canada, you're from Mexico, from United States, from Ireland, it really doesn't matter. We're just a big, big family that love each other, and we play and hard when we're in the court, and when we're off the court, we're just great friends, you know, like Tony said, and that's exactly what it is. And ever since I was playing, the same thing. I would have somebody pick me up from the airport, and I would stay in their homes, and then eventually I had to play them, and that was not nice, but you know, we're just a big family. Yes, that's the way it is in our sport.
I know there's a great game going on here between Emmett and Paul Brady from Ireland, but we have this brief moment to get you on tape and talk to you a little bit here, but what would happen if, do you ever think about this, if you were never introduced to handball?
What would happen to if
What would you be doing
Oh
today?
my goodness, this would be.
Would there be
it
another?
wouldn't be good. I would still be in Mexico because I did not have anything to offer because of handball. I didn't have a career like a lot of the people. So without handball, then it would be very, very hard for me, and I wouldn't have my beautiful grandchildren, which they're here in the booth with us. And if it wasn't for handball, there's no way. I cannot imagine where I would be at this point. And right now, with being in this beautiful country where it's a land of opportunities, and we have taken our chances, and we are really taking an opportunity to better ourselves. And obviously, we have our grandchildren. We have 5 now, my wife and I, and they're just into sports. They're into soccer. They play handball once in a while. They play baseball, and we have a great family. So if it wasn't for handball, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys and having the people in your homes through the webcast. Thanks to extremehandball.org. If it wasn't for handball, I wouldn't be here trying to explain to you what the game is all about.
And I wouldn't be here asking you that question probably too. Yeah, you certainly have changed the sport and the way people look at it, and I think you are part of the reason why people are at an event like this and you see players with smiles on their faces. I mean, it wasn't a sport where people were mean and gruesome, but you play like your mentors, and when they go to a tournament, they see you smiling and shaking hands and being really personable. It helps these pros. When you see them on the road and they come up to you and give you a hug and shake your hand, they learn from the people that they looked up to, and they've been looking up to you for years. And of course, we want to say thank you, and that's why we have this tournament, is to say thank you for what you have done. And you mentioned it earlier. Most of the time, you have passed away, and that's the reason why we have the Naughty Alvarado Classic.
Yeah.
We don't want to call it the Naughty Alvarado Memorial.
No.
But this is one of those tournaments where I heard some people up at the World's tournament say, well, is Seymour going to be in the tournament and actually play? But
No.
your days are over in competitive handball.
Yes, they are. They were a long time ago. And I'm very realistic. I know where I am. And I know a lot of people that they think they should be playing, but I advise a lot of my friends they're trying to make comebacks, and if they're not in the right age group or things like that, you should know where you are. And when I started to play this game, I knew exactly what was going to happen if I did the right things. And I think that I did. And what happened is I also knew that I was going to win a lot of the times. I knew that I had to win that particular match because when my later years came around, then I knew I was going to lose due to my my age. So I never took a win for granted or a match for granted, because I knew that there was going to be one time that I was going to sit down, think about it, and say, oh man, I could have won that, I could have done that. And I can sit down right now and say, hey, I did it.
Yeah, right.
I don't have to go through all those things. So what I did is I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew I was going to lose, which I started to lose, and I knew, but I was trying, I was playing my hardest, but I knew I was going to lose.
Do you admire guys like Danny Bell, who are 45 years old and are still making it pretty far in brackets?
He's amazing, and he's always been very athletic. He's always in great shape, and that's due to his ethics. He works hard, he trains hard. He's 40-something and still moving like a 20-year-old kid out there.
45. He told me that he's played you in 11 pro tournaments and lost 11 times.
Really?
That's what he told me. He goes, yeah, I played him 11 times. He's actually played you more times than that. A lot of pickup games and a lot of doubles, he said, and a lot of just practice games. But he said in actual open pro competition, he's played you 11 times and he's lost 11 times.
I didn't know that.
But at the age of 45, he beat Emmett PEIXOTO in the finals of the Boston Open earlier this year. In the finals, took Tony Healy to a tiebreaker in the NYAC tournament.
He's amazing.
Went to a tiebreaker again in the World's tournament, and made it pretty far up in Canada. And I'm telling you what, he still has game. He just beat Desi Keegan earlier today.
I'm telling you that the reason I say he's amazing. If you are as I had to find out about the rankings where everybody was, because I follow my my pro division a lot, and I know that he is the number 5 right now. He's in the rankings number 5, so he's up there with the top players. You know, at 45 years old.
Yeah.
So
He's only 5 years younger than you.
well, probably 6.
Let's. Well, I was trying to give you a compliment.
Oh,
let's
thank
go to
you
the
very
sideline commentator, Kara Mack, who is with somebody else new. Let's talk to her.
That's right, I'm with Simple Greens, Bruce Fabrizio, watching another match here, and this one is a great one to see because it's an up-and-comer with a legend, essentially.
Well, yeah, the last 2 years you've seen this is Paul Brady has just been the best in the business, and with Emmett coming along very nicely, the handball all afternoon, you've seen nothing but terrific handball all afternoon. That's why we're here this year, putting this festival together, is to nurture just the kind of handball we're seeing right now. And it's really a pleasure to see the transition of the young players coming along and the older guys really wanting to not give up the mantle, whether it's Noddy or Paul Brady. The next day and a half should prove to be some really interesting handball. I think everybody's going to really enjoy the quality of what we're seeing in play.
Right now, you're not seeing anyone more smooth and just under control as Paul, but also Emmett's a character out there getting the crowd involved.
Yeah, he's like a little rooster out there running around with a chicken with his head cut off, but he's so incredibly well talented and great balance and speed, and he's got all the tools, and he works out with the Alvarados a lot now, and he's picking up a lot of the new shots that he needs to go to that next level, which everybody's starting to see the category of his game.
How neat is it for you to see such a difference that you've made in the sport as far as Simple Green being a sponsor and providing what they're providing?
Well, I started sponsoring events when Noddy Alvarado Jr. was 12 years old, and now he's 32. So it's just for me a heartwarming thing to see the families hang in and the generations coming along and the support. As you can see, Los Caballeros is a real family-oriented kind of a facility, and handball is a real family. This is not your high glitzy sport that it gets lots of notoriety, but you can see how it pervades the family. The grandkids are here, the mothers, the wives, and everybody's dying on every shot with their family. So it's, for me, I think it's a wonderful, it's sort of the spirit of what my company's about. I have an acronym called EGBAR, which stands for Everything's Gonna Be All Right. And you get that sense from these people that are here rooting for their kids and their friends that it's really all about family and spirit. So it's a good sport.
I'm going to remember that one. EGBAR.
EGBAR.
EGBAR. There we go.
Everything's going to be all right.
All right, back to the game against Paul Brady and Emmett
And everything is going all right for Paul Brady right now, and not for Emmett Pichot. But our sport is everything is going all right at this particular point.
Yeah, or as Kara says, everything's going to be all.
EGBAR.
Kara doing some great work down there, catching family members, handball players. Obviously, Bruce Fabrizio, the guy putting on the tournament, Simple Green founder.
Of Simple Green, yes. And what a beautiful thing to see a sponsor being and mingling with all the players and having refreshments showing on TV and future sponsors of the game. And we don't know what's going to come out of that, but Mr. Bruce Fabrizio making commercials out there.
Yeah, I hope Budweiser is watching right now. Yeah, some health supplements we were seeing. That was just health supplements.
That's what it was.
Yeah, just trying to get the body in shape. He had a recent knee surgery. Is that right?
Yes, he had a knee replacement. And he was in pain for a long period of time, and he is so happy right now that he is back, at least throwing the ball at this particular point. 2 years ago or so, we started to play. Was Mark Shelgren and Mr. Bruce Fabrizio, Noddy, and I were playing some nice doubles. And unfortunate that he had to have that surgery, and so we haven't been together in the handball court, but we do get together once a week, and we strategize what we're planning for our tournament, and obviously we go over dinner and talk about all these issues.
Where's the great dinner place to go around here? I think I might
There's several here.
Replay.
But we plan all these things, and like I said before, this coming year we have a better plan, and I know that he's going to increase the prize money, and I think that everything is going to be all right.
That's a good positive way of looking at it. Emmett Pichot is fighting for every single point that he can get during this game number 2 after losing the first one. Paul Brady is doing what Paul Brady does best. He's just playing smooth, Looks a lot like a right-handed John Kindler.
Replay.
Just kind of has that same kind of build and very athletic, hits the ball a ton. Emmett PEIXOTO still
He's
fighting.
hanging in there. You just want to give it your best. You just want to go home and say, this side gave it all. I'm not going to be here sitting down and say, I could have done this, like I just talked before.
Even though Emmett's down, he just takes the ball right off the back wall and he just rolls it.
8 serves 20.
A beautiful shot right there with the high-def camera that we have.
That is so hard. That's a very difficult shot, standing, and obviously you have to have a great offhand to accomplish that particular shot. And obviously you, Dave, you're one of the players that can execute that particular shot. And for a lot of people, they have to take it with the right hand, and Emmett didn't have to. He did it with his left.
Point.
Well, I agree with you on 2 of the 3 things that you said there. Emmett actually does have a very good offhand. In fact, it's, I believe, better than his right hand. That wraps up game number 2 of the men's semifinals match. Now we know who's going to be in the finals tomorrow. Your son, Nadi Alvarado Jr., is going to face Paul Brady. That's what everyone thought. The number 1 and number 2 seeds are going up against each other tomorrow at 1 o'clock right here on the website at WePlayHandball.com. As they are going up for $20,000. What was the most money you ever played for in one single match?
I played for $5,000. That was the most I made in one particular tournament. And obviously having 20,000 prize money winner, is a wonderful, wonderful thing for our sport. And what I can see out of this is people out there appreciating our sport, people that are just tuning in, and we'll probably put this on ESPN. Hopefully, we'll see what we can do, and it's a great, great sport for everybody to play. And it looks easy, but it's not. So I challenge a lot of people out there watching us to go ahead and try to hit the ball and play handball. And we'll see you next year in our tournament.
Yeah, no kidding. It looks like we will be chatting with Kara coming up in just a few. No, we have a great shot of extreme clean, simple green. Now, camera guy, keep this shot right here. I want to tell you something that's interesting about that word extreme clean. When the company or the organization that I'm involved with at extremehandball.org created the name Extreme Handball from the product Extreme Green.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful.
Now, trying to lure Simple Green back into pro handball again, I thought it was a good marketing tool to say, let me go onto their website and try to find some little name on there that I can associate handball with, and I came up with that Extreme Clean name there, and I decided that I was going to make Extreme Handball out of that, and hopefully try to get a little piece of the pie of that extreme sporting market that's been going on out there. Extreme sports have been
extreme sports, exactly.
They have been taking out some of the profit shares when it comes to some of these mainstream sports, actually surpassing baseball when it comes to merchandising. So I thought, let's see if we can get people to start calling this extreme handball instead of just regular handball. It wasn't really quite successful, but it all came from Simple Green.
But I tell you what, if you play this sport, you're an extreme person.
That is true,
It takes
right?
an extreme person to play this particular game.
Especially if you play 1-wall handball or 3-wall, which I know you've played a few times in your career, but you didn't bridge over to 3-wall as much as a lot of people would have liked to see you do because of the knees and the elbows on that pavement all the time. I want to talk to you more about that before you leave, but in the meantime, let's go to Kara Mack one more time right outside the court. Kara?
I'm right here with Emmett PEIXOTO. Tough game, tough match. Paul Brady, always a good competitor.
Yes, he is. He played well, very well. And I tried to play as good as I could, but didn't work out for me this time.
You went in there, though, with a lot of energy, ready to go. We got a little cameo there. A lot of energy, ready to go. Looked like you had some good things going on for a while.
Yeah, I did every once in a while. I really had a tough time returning a serve. If I could have returned a serve, I think I could have done a lot better. I had a really tough time doing that.
As far as playing as somebody at Paul Brady's caliber and knowing that you can compete against him, what does that build for you and knowing the future that you have ahead of you in handball?
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'll be able to beat him soon. It's just a matter of practice and determination. I thought maybe this was the time, but I'm just not mentally ready. I just need a little bit more practice and time and experience.
You're definitely the man to watch for, but you also bring a lot of character. I was saying as before, trying to get the crowd involved and adding some fun to the game.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I sometimes kind of gets boring up there just watching the same ball around the court, so I try and spice things up a little bit.
It gets boring. Are you saying that because you watch your sister's matches or something?
Yes. Yeah. because I've been in the audience quite a bit. I know how it goes. It's fun to watch, but every once in a while the players kind of do towel breaks and all this, so I try and liven it up during that time.
Any advice that you ever give to your sister? Do you watch her games quite often?
Actually, she wasn't playing for a while, but yeah, now that she's back into it, she's really wants to win, so I'm just trying to build her confidence up and give her a lot of advice towards determination and stuff like that.
It's a lot of fun to see your whole entire family here. Great
Thanks.
game and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And for the record, Dave, I heard you rip on me about the egg bot thing. Now that our relationship is to that level, it'll be a whole lot of fun with you tomorrow. You're in trouble. I'll be listening for you.
Oh, really? You and I are having a relationship. That's interesting.
I guess so.
Blondes have more fun. That's Kara Mack from KATU News, Channel 2, Portland, Oregon, actually reporting on this with the extremehandball.org website. WePlayHandball.com is a good alternative as well. If you want to go there, download that player, watch us on the internet. That's what we hope for. And then before we went to her, Nadi, we talked about the 3-wall and the 1-wall game, talking about extreme handball and how that really seems to be a lot more extreme than 4-wall in a way. You had a career that could have included maybe a little 1-wall. Do you ever think about playing that?
If I didn't think before, I'm not thinking now about it. But what happened is I had to take care of myself. I really had to not be injured because I was playing handball to support my family. So I was out there practicing and training. I did not want to damage that by getting an injury on another sport, which is one of the same sports, but a different way. Like 3-wall, I went to several tournaments. I went to a lot of 4-wall tournaments, obviously, but I was a person that was playing all year round to earn some money and to feed my family. Therefore, I was very, very careful on not playing 1-wall or 3-wall as much. And obviously, when I was playing 3-wall, due to a few injuries that I had while playing the game, I said I was going to stop because I did not want to damage my career in 4-wall. And those are the reasons. Yes, I could have played 1-wall. I could have played more 3-wall, but I choose not to because of potential injury and if that would have happened, then I would have stopped playing for money and
for the family.
And for the family. So those were the major reasons. And actually, 3-wall is a very, very fun game to play. It's just very hard on your body. And you can tell you some of our players where they went to the nationals this particular year, and one of them had to cancel coming to this tournament due to an injury that occurred in the 3-wall nationals. So I was very fortunate to stop, when I was still doing okay, and that's why I didn't play 1-wall and 3-wall as much.